All right, welcome back to Choppy Cycles. As you could tell from that first clip I just showed you guys, this is going to be a very exciting race. So stay tuned towards the end for some awesome clips and some scary moments that we can break down and analyze together. So like I said, welcome back. Welcome back. You guys are watching this video from the vantage point of my chest. This is the final stage, stage 4 of the Rosewood Criterium series in Miami, Florida. This is specifically the category 4-5 field. In this stage, I came out with 5 teammates. So it was 6 of us representing 305 cycle. We had a very specific plan in mind this time around, and it was a little bit different from the previous race that we participated in, but also kind of the same. So there I was telling my teammate, I think it was Ricky, to say my name because he called inside, and of course, good rider etiquette is to let that person go, but it's a race, I'm not gonna, if there's someone trying to get an advantage on me, I'm going to close the door. So I told him, hey, next time say my name so I know it's you, because if not, I'm going to close the door on you. So where was I? Right, so in the previous race, if you guys haven't seen that already, please check it out. The link is in the description below. That was stage 3. This is stage 4. We had a very specific game plan, which was to cover everything, make sure it comes down to a field sprint. And after looking back and talking to my team, we decided that was not the greatest plan because it tired us out. And towards the end, we had no legs for the field sprint. It was me by myself trying to out sprint some really strong riders, and that just didn't work out. So this time around, what we decided was, hey, what we're going to do is we wanted to come down to a field sprint, but we are not going to do any efforts. We're going to sit back. We're going to let other teams close those gaps, chase down attacks, and keep us fresh towards the end. And that kind of worked out because everyone was trying to prove a point in this stage. This is the last stage of this series. It's hard fought. There's some really strong riders, some really good teams represented in this field. Like Team Waldo right here. My friend David is representing them in the red, white, and blue kit to the right. In front of him is a 305 cycle kit. That's the kit that I'm wearing with the light blue, pink, really colorful right here on my right as well. That's Ricky. So we came with that plan. It was, hey, let's rely on other teams to do the work for us so we don't spend our legs and have something to show for towards the end of the race. And it kind of worked out. You see right now there's a breakaway, but we're going 28, 29 miles an hour into the tightest right-hander, which means that the pace is really high and there's no way that breakaway is going to stick. So, and that's how it was the stage 3. So I was pretty confident that these kinds of moves would not get away. So I told my teammates as well, hey, it's going to look scary. There's going to be some threatening moves, but unless we picked out some threatening guys that were ahead of us in the rankings, if they were represented in those breakaways, then we should also be. That's when our alarm should go off. Maybe we should chase, maybe we should attack, maybe we should partake in that breakaway. But that never happened throughout the race because the race leaders were in a really strong position. It was really a race for 3rd place. First and second were pretty much decided. Definitely first. Juan Inestrosa is an insane rider. He took first place in 2 different stages this series, and he was basically sitting on first place, no problem. So yeah, we had Team Waldo, Team 305 Cycle, which is us. Somi Bike was out there, so we said, hey, you know what? Let's let them figure it out. But you'll see that's easier said than done because towards the end of the race, everyone wants to be in the front. So yeah, you're gonna be chilling, relaxing in the back, in the draft, but it's really hard to move off spaces, and you're saving bullets that you're gonna have to use towards the end of the race. And I think that worked out fairly well, except for the fact that we couldn't really get a cohesive team effort to move towards the front at any point in the race, and that kind of cost us a bit. So thank you guys for joining. There is some really exciting video footage coming up, so stick around. There's a crash. If you're here just for that crash, skip to this time point that's shown in the video and have fun, enjoy watching it. Okay, now we're gonna move forward a little bit in the race. These were the first couple laps. As you can see, everyone's excited to get going. Now we're gonna move forward a couple laps and see what's going on. All right, so this is now a couple laps in, maybe 1/4 of the race in. I got some teammates up ahead of me, and we're all staying calm. We're all, heeding to the game plan, which was to sit back, relax. I like our positions right now. We're not too far to the back. We're not too far to the front. If we need to, throw a little sprint here and there to make up some ground, we can. But here's a sketchy lap rider coming up. The lap riders were super dangerous. I don't know why the race administrators didn't pull people out. That was super scary. So this is again a couple laps forward. My team is just sitting down, sitting up, not really doing any work. It seems like a threatening attack going off the front of the peloton. I decide, you know what, maybe I want to move up, so I take that really aggressive line in the inside. People start screaming at me. Someone tires pops. I hear that. I try to look back. I don't see anything. There's just a lot of commotion. I don't know if that rider got pulled out. I tried to look back to see what was going on. Never saw it again. So there you kind of see me getting a little more frantic, and you'll see that again in the next clip. So being in the back is comfortable, but it's nerve-wracking. You're like, what's going on in the front? I need to be up there. So there were a couple times throughout the race that I found ways to move up efficiently where I didn't have to spend too much energy. So for example, right here, I'm going to take this corner on the inside. While everyone is coasting, I'm just keeping a nice and consistent pedal, and then boom, I move up 4 or 5, I don't know, maybe even 10 wheels, and now I'm sitting 5th or 6th wheel behind the race leader, which is a great position to be in. If you're behind a really strong rider, you know you're doing something right. So me and this rider on my right, we're kind of fighting for his wheel. Neither of us is getting full benefit from the draft, and we're going 30 miles an hour, and here's another lapped rider making things even more difficult as we move along into the first left-hander. This is a good thing about being towards the front, that you always take the best lines. So if we were going 30 miles an hour into that corner in the back of the field, you would be squeezing brakes, maybe bumping into people, super sketchy. It's very scary. Maybe even going off track. You'll see some of that at towards the end of this video. People deciding to go a little off-roading, cyclocross type. So there, the speed kind of lowered a little bit. I take that corner really well, and I debate whether I should attack or not. And I remember, you know what, we have a game plan. Let's not do that. So I show some self-restraint, and I don't, even though I wanted to, I don't shoot off on attack, because it's not going to work. The pace is going to be too high. Someone's going to chase that down, and I just wasted energy. So instead, what I do is I let some people, I come out of the draft, I force people to close that gap, which zaps a little bit of energy as I'm sagging to the back and getting a little bit of draft. All right, and now we moved forward a couple more laps into the race. This is now getting towards the middle of the race, maybe 20-25 minutes into the 50-mile race, and we have our first run into this guy in the pedal jersey, in the white jersey right there in front of me. He took some questionable lines throughout the race, which made things really interesting, but also really scary. So at this point in time, I'm looking at my Garmin. I'm like, oh, that's not the screen I wanted to be on. So I switch it, and I'm like, oh wait, that was the screen I wanted to be on. So I switch it back. Rookie move. You never want to take your hands off your handlebar, especially going into a tight corner like I just did. So that's definitely a no-no from my part. I should not be doing that. So there it is, the guy in the pedal jersey on the right, taking really unpredictable, questionable lines throughout the race. But that's just the character of these category 4 or 5 races. The Pro 1, 2, 3 field races right after us, and you can just tell how smooth they are in their racing mannerisms, right? There's attacks and breakaways and counters. Here's just chaos, pure chaos. So here we have pedal again, going in and out and back in for some reason. Oof. And you see there's no one in front of him, and he just decides to cut left super hard, almost clipping the guy behind him, his wheel, which is, you know, a very questionable move, but a very Cat 4-5 move as well. And then here we go into this tight right-hander. You know, I only see these things after when I'm editing these videos. Like, I never see these things in person. Like, yeah, maybe once or twice I'm like, oh wow, that wasn't like the smartest thing to do. But overall, like, I never realized how much an individual rider is making mistakes until I edit these videos and I can single them out. It's like, oh wait, they did that like 5 minutes ago. Oh, they did that again and again. So here's something that I really need to work on, is how to eat and drink while I ride. Every time I pick up my water bottle or try to eat a gel, I get super gassed out. So here the guy on the left is warning me, hey, watch out for him. He's being super sketchy. He's speaking to me in Spanish, like, yo, watch out for him. He's being mad sketchy. And I'm like, okay, I give him a thumbs up, like, thanks for the heads up. Which I had seen him be a little weird, but it wasn't that bad. And then right now he looks down for some reason, and then he just swerves right into my wheel. And of course I gotta let him hear, hey, that was not cool. And I tell that rider that warned me, like, whoa, I didn't know it was that bad. Sheesh, that's really bad. And I learned my lesson from last video, you know, don't stay behind these people. So I put my head down, do a little sprint. I'm like, I do not want to be around you anymore. I'm just going to go. And that was the end of that. I do have to say, at the end of the race, he did come up to me and he apologized. I guess he heard me screaming at him and he knew it was me. And then he came up to me and apologized. So I do have to give him props for that. That was very nice of him to do that. Yeah, so there I'm telling my teammate Eber, who was in the wrong kit, thanks Eber, let us slide because it was your birthday weekend. So there I'm telling Eber to move up. Here's where panic's starting to set in. We're at 35 minutes into the race, so we only have about 15 minutes left of racing. And the pace is fast, you know, it's hard to move up, it's hard to find your footing in the race, and my teammates and I just need to find our way towards the front. And like I was saying before, I have a really hard time drinking and eating while I train or while I ride. I like get gassed out, I hold my breath, and it's just a horrible experience for me. So if you have any tips and tricks, hit me up in the comments, or if you're watching this video, you probably already know me, so just hit me up on Instagram or shoot me a text, because I need to learn how to do that. I tried doing this Gran Fondo once, and I ate like every 30 minutes, and I ended up puking. Not a fun time. All right, so everything, all this little tangent set aside, I'm telling my teammates we're looking good, but I'm panicking because we're just not moving up. I told Yosan, who's a teammate of mine, he's up there on the right, and Christian, all right, we got to stay up. But man, we were not making any ground. You see, I'm there telling them that we're looking good, but
Hold your position, Christian.
yeah, I see, hold your position, you know, because yeah, so I tell them, hold your position, but try to move up to Yosan. We're in the moment where we have to move up and try to do it as efficiently as possible. And this guy in the red kit takes a questionable line there. I thought he was going down. I prepared myself, but fortunately nothing happened. So yeah, these laps right here was just panic was starting to set in. We gotta get our teammates up, but that just was not working. It was not working. And eventually I decided, you know what? I can't just take all my teammates up with me. I'm just going to go up myself. So there I'm telling Eber, okay, move up on the inside. I'm telling Yosan to move up and get on these wheels, but I guess he doesn't hear me, or he takes too long and then he loses those wheels. That would have been perfect for us to move up there on the outside and keep the speed up, to be on the outside on these turns and then go into the inside on the corner. But that doesn't work. So we fast forward a couple laps, and this is where a huge crash happens. Fortunately, only one person was involved. Unfortunately, he had to go down. There it is. So now we're going to slow down and see what happened. My personal opinion is that he had his hands on his hoods. You can kind of see a clip of that right there. Someone clipped his drops, his wheel wobbled, and then he went down. So this is a good tip for everyone. Make sure you ride your hoods, because your elbows will protect your hoods. I mean your drops, sorry. Ride on your drops, because your elbows will protect your drops from getting clipped. Yeah, so here I'm telling Eber 2 laps. People are riding in the grass. Everyone's frantic. So there, Eber is the last teammate that I have around me, and I tell him, hey, 2 laps. And I'm just going to do everything I can in my power to move up. I realize that my teammates are not going to be able to contribute to any sort of lead out, and I just have to get in position myself. So this is 2 laps to go. You can see how far the leaders are right now. I am panicking like all heck. My heart rate's at 176, which is great, because I was, like I said, I was chilling the whole ride. My max heart rate is like 188. So here I'm hurting, but it's not bad. I know I have more in the tank. And perfect. Everyone leaves the inside wide open, and I went from like 30th wheel to like 5th. And now I'm loving my position, and I have to make sure that I don't lose it. So now we're in the final straight, going into the last lap. There's the bell and the siren. We're with 1 lap to go. I am loving my position right here. This Mr. and Mrs. guy kind of shuts the door on me, but you know what? It's fine. I lose a couple wheels. I'm still looking good. The corners are coming up, which is a place that I feel really comfortable in. So I'm like, all right, we can still make up some ground. Right now I'm sitting about 7th or 8th wheel. I can't really count right now because I'm super into the mood. My hands are sweating. Here's the final tight right-hander. And you know what? I'm like, man, this is looking really good. This is looking really good. I can take the inside here, and I will be primed for a nice little sprint. But this guy decides that it's not gonna be my day. He just shoves me into the grass. I lose all my momentum. I get super frustrated. I try to get back. I even do a sitting down sprint. I'm not even off my saddle. I'm just sitting down sprinting. I'm just like cursing in my head, super frustrating. I just stopped pedaling completely. I ended up getting like 16th place in this stage, and then 6th place overall in the series. So overall, I think it went pretty well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.